Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and I'm so excited. You guys, the day is finally here. By the way, I couldn't find a headband. I have how many headbands? Like 752 headbands, and I couldn't find one. So I know, this is just what we're going with today. I know what you're thinking, like, wow, how do I look as glamorous as her? Well, it's real easy. Sleep deprivation and overzealous work ethic. So let's talk about ColourPop products. Okay, I gotta like calm down. You guys, I'm too excited for this. ColourPop launched their no filter foundation. They launched powders. They launched everything. And we have all been dying for this launch. We've all been waiting. We've all been living our best life. And it is finally here. I ordered it, and ColourPop, huge shout out to you. They like shipped it the next day, and I had it 3 days later, which is amazing because if you've ever ordered anything from ColourPop, you know that they're shipping, no shade, no tea, no shade, but it's awful. Like, I've waited like 2 weeks for something before, and it wasn't even a new release, you know? So I was so happy, so excited when my box showed up, you guys. I literally died. I was like, we are going to dive in. We're gonna talk foundation, powder, what do I love, what do I hate. We're gonna do a foundation test because y'all know how I feel about foundation tests, and I feel even better about them when they are ColourPop foundation. By the way, congratulations to ColourPop. Huge shout out because girl, y'all did this, okay? I'm so excited to see you guys continuing to branch farther and farther into just like such an inclusive makeup line. This foundation, which obviously we're going to talk about first, it launched with, I believe, 42 shades, which is frickin' fantastic. I did pick up 4 shades, and I did that for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, I kind of wanted to, you know, mix around and maybe grab 4 of the lighter end spectrum so we could see what colors work on me, what colors don't, that sort of thing. But I also thought, like, how great would it be if I love it to just have, like, such a fun little collection. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was mainly just to show you the shade match and to drop some. So, let's go ahead and get started here. I obviously have not opened them. I don't know what these colors look like in real life, but God, are we excited. These retail for $12 each. Now, the amount of product is a little bit less than standard. This is 0.85 fluid ounces, and as I said before, it is $12 on their website. It looks like everything from what I can see is available. This is, it is a natural matte foundation that delivers flawless looking skin from day to night, oil-free lightweight formula, blends smoothly and is easily customizable to create the coverage you want. Build it up or shear it out. It was developed with innovative soft blurring pigment to deliver true color while looking and feeling natural. The lockable pump is, lockable pump. Bitch, okay. The lockable pump is easy to use and keeps your routine mess free. As always, 100% cruelty free and vegan. Fantastic. All right. I'm a little bit ecstatic about this. We're not gonna lie. And why am I so excited, you might ask? This, from the pictures I can see online, this looks beautiful. And oh my God, it's so cute. It's glass. You guys, for $12, you get a locking pump and a glass bottle. What world am I living in? What was that one I just tried out from Revlon that was like $13 or $14, and it was in this awful tube? It was awful. Everything about it was awful. The presentation, it felt like a $3 foundation. Like, what in the world? And by the way, before this debate of glass versus plastic squeezy tubes happens, cool. Like, I don't care, okay? I get it. Some people love plastic squeezy tubes. I get it. They don't break, whatever. I'm all for it. I understand why you like them, but come on. You cannot deny how cute this presentation is. Like, just take it all in. Look at the little stars. I mean, okay, so anyways, I'm done. This is the Shide 05 Fair, which I also have the concealer in 05 Fair, and it oxidizes like a bastard. So we will see. I'm gonna go ahead, obviously, and swatch these. One little drop and a swipe. So that is 05 Fair. So this is Fair 20, this guy right here, much more peachy pink undertoned. Oh wow. But it feels really nice. My freaking card just filled up and I just talked to myself for 5 minutes. Oh, what a day. Okay, so let's move on. The next one I swatched is Fair 30, which is this guy right here. So far we have 5, 20, 30, and 35. I'm loving this shade range so far, and I'm really impressed with how minute the changes are in these. Like, that's... wow, like that's 35. That one is definitely nice and tan, but look at how beautiful that shade range is. And keep in mind, like, there's how many shades in between these shades, like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So technically, this is like seven colors are represented here, like in between, you know? So that's, like, I'm sorry, that's impressive. Let's just swatch it against something else real quick here. What is this one? This is the NARS in Mont Blanc. I'm gonna have swatches all down my arm. Move you guys in a little bit. So the next one down here, that is NARS in the shade Mont Blanc in the NARS Radiant Longwear Foundation. Yes, I love foundation in my arm hair. Good job, Paige. This was a great idea. This one right here is the Dior Backstage Foundation in 0N, so you can definitely see how light it is. It looks like that one is pretty close, actually, to the 05 Fair that I swatched. This last guy right down here is the Hourglass Stick in Alabaster, which is their, I think it's their lightest shade. So that right there, again, one more time, you have the Alabaster Stick Foundation from Hourglass, the Dior Forever, or Dior Backstage, or whatever, Full Body Foundation in 0N, the NARS Mont Blanc Longwear Foundation, and then from top to bottom for the ColourPop, we have 05, 20, 30, and 35. So that is a pretty decent representation there. And actually, it looks like 05 is not oxidizing like the concealer for ColourPop. If you guys didn't see that, I actually, in one of my other videos, I don't remember which one, but I had a ton of the ColourPop concealers, and I couldn't think of the word just then. But I had like 4 of them, and I swatched them, and all of them are normal, but 05. 05 oxidizes so fast, like, and it turns so orange. It'll go from like this to this, like, oh, that doesn't help you because you can't see what color these are, but it would go from like 05 to 35, like this color, and then all of a sudden it's this color. And I was just like, what the hell? And it does it every time I use it. So I can't really use 05 for much because I'm very pasty. Where are my makeup wipes? Guess we're settling for some toilet paper because I can't find the makeup wipes. Oh well. Yeah, that's right. Just smear all that foundation down my arm. So I'm thinking for my face, I think that it'll be like maybe a mixture of like 30 and 5, which I know sounds really odd, but I really liked the undertone of both of those. So I'm going to actually just mix them on my hand. Because see, I feel like 30, it has like a nice depth to it, but 5 has a really beautiful like neutral base that I really, really like. This is so liquidy, by the way. Like, whoa, oh, don't use that brush. Oy. So I am going to go in for the first half of the face with this freshly cleaned, washed, brand new beauty sponge, also known by the Real Technique sponge looking thing. And this is so liquidy, it's going everywhere. But we're just going to start with this, and we're going to pounce it in. Oh, and I did prime too. I will show you the primers here in a second. Wow. You know what's sad is that it looks so light, but the reality is like it matches my neck. Like, how sad is that? I feel like, ugh, the truth is so sad. Like, Paige, no, you really are this pasty. Holy crap, you guys, a little bit goes a long way. Like, look, it's still going. I haven't added any more. Wow. Like, that's just one layer. I don't think that looks half bad. I'm going to go in before I start trying to build it up, and I want to grab the ColourPop Flat Top Kabuki. This is their F15. I picked this up with this launch. It is $10, and I thought if we are testing their foundation, we will also test their brush, which already has a hair coming out of it. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead, and we're just going to take this, and we're going to dive into this giant pool of foundation on my hand. And we're going to see, oh man, we're going to see how this goes. And again, I will tell you what primers I'm using as soon as I'm done. I did go in with 2 different primers, but I want to be able to show them to you, just in case you want to see them. And I know if I tell you right now, I will forget to show you. And some of you like to see them. Okay, so actually the brush application looks really nice everywhere but the nose. The nose looks really bad with a brush, but I think it's actually really nice overall. I'm a Beauty Blender girl, so I'm going to go back this route, but it doesn't look bad with a brush. I do notice, though, that it does kind of cling a little bit more with a brush than it did with a Beauty Blender. I feel like this really works well because it's such a thin foundation. So I'm just going to go ahead, pat a little bit of extra coverage over some of this nastiness we got in this area right here. And then we're going to move on to some powder. So I have everything on, and boy do I look pasty, but that's okay. Bronzer is our best friend today. I don't think it looks bad. What I am noticing though is that it's given me like some really odd texture, like right around here that I'm not used to. I've said this 1,000 times, but prior to powder, I don't really hold anything accountable because my face always looks janky without powder. So the only thing at this moment that I'm having a rough minute with is they said natural matte foundation, and this is kind of like natural dewy. Like this does not look super matte to me. It looks very luminescent, very lit from within. So good and bad depending on what you're looking for. Now we are going to run in here with some concealers. I have the ColourPop No Filter Concealer because I love it already. This is the shade 04, which, I mean, we can try, but I have a feeling this might be a little bit too dark. Actually, wait a second. That's not that bad. Hold on. Hold on a second. I'm starting to take you seriously. Okay, it's actually not the worst color. I'll just brighten it up, I think, maybe with another one of the concealers. I have multiple colors because I love it. I love that it's only $6 and you actually get pretty nice coverage out of it. Yeah, that's not quite light enough for me. So actually, ooh, you know what? This is one of my favorite concealers to play with in general. I actually have a brand new one right here. It is the shade 00. It's their white concealer. You guys, this stuff is magical. And I know what you're thinking. Like, no, you don't want to go in with that. It's going to leave a white cast. I'm telling you, it does not. It brightens up the whole area so much. I have to, like, remember to wipe it off, though, because otherwise I will put all the color back into the tube. But it is so beautiful blended into the skin. Like, I love this concealer. Especially as, like, a fair queen. It can be so hard. I always brighten this area of my face, by the way. But it can be so hard to, like, really brighten up your face. And a white concealer is genius. And so affordable. Like, $6, and it's so pretty. Alright, so now that you're zoomed out a little bit, you can really see like how nice and brightening that white concealer is. I love it. P.S. This, I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but video not sponsored. I just legit do love these products. So now it's time for some powder. Before I forget though, on this half of the face, I am wearing my Peter Thomas Roth Skin to Die For. I wear this all the time. And then on this half of the face, I am wearing my Tatcha the Silk Canvas. On this half, these are primers I wear all the time. I really wanted to be super, super fair with this foundation because I'm really excited about it. And these are two primers that I use constantly. So that was that. And then I did go ahead and spray my face with, you guessed it, the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. I love this stuff. It just really feels great. Helps press everything into the skin. Helps just settle that primer right on in for a long day stay. I love this so much. And yeah, I think is that it? Is that, oh, and I also let my primer sit for like 10 minutes-ish. You guys had said, you know, prior to foundation reviews, really let it sit into the skin. So I did let it sit, let everything dry, let everything press itself so we could have just a great day. Oh, speaking of great days, it's time for powder. So I picked up, they did release a pressed powder as well as a loose powder. I only picked up one of the loose powders. This is the shade Translucent. I only picked up one because quite frankly, I knew light would be too dark for me because that's just how it works. I have a hair on my eye. Oh my god, what is going on? Right here. I can feel it, but I can't see it. That's annoying. Anyways, these powders are $9 a piece, and this is the No Filter Setting Powder. And yeah, I'm thinking this is what we're going to use to set our under eye. How much of this do you get? You get 0.300 ounces. So how much, say, Maybelline Fit Me do I normally get? So Maybelline Fit Me, you get 0.7, so this is less than half of what you normally get here. And again, this is $9, and I think this is also right around that price. So just, you know, keeping it real over here. You don't get a ton of product, but hopefully it's really good to make up for it. So I am going to re-pat out the under eye, because girl, we are creasy, because I'm just a creasy queen. It's the way it is. What a great shirt would that make? I'm a creasy queen. And now I'm just going to take on that same damp beauty blender. Oh girl, we grabbed a lot. Wow, that's actually quite dark for translucent. Okay. Do you see how like much darker that is than that eye? Okay. I guess when they said translucent, they meant dark. I was debating on whether or not I wanted to use this to set my whole face, which I think I will, but I'm kind of like, I don't know if I like how this is looking. I'm hoping that some setting powder will fix everything. Or some setting spray, rather. Because right now we're looking a little bit dusty. And a little bit pores emphasized, which is interesting because both of the products that I use to prime my face are really good at minimizing pores. So, all right. Well, everything is set. I mean, that's good. It doesn't look bad right now so far. Coverage looks good. Everything is setting nicely. Now, I do have these pressed powders, and I think what I'm going to use these, I picked up Fair and Light. I know, go figure. But I think what I'll use these for is maybe when I'm finishing up my face. Ooh, that looks really pretty. What is that? Okay, it's not super full coverage. It looks really sheer as far as powder goes, which I think could be good. This is a no filter sheer. Oh, and it says sheer pressed powder. That's probably why it's sheer. But maybe I could use these at the end of my routine. You guys have seen me go in with this Park Ave Princess palette right here. And I always go in with these two contour shades, and I'll like use those to like brighten up the under eye, or, you know, brighten up and kind of contour the face. And maybe I would use these for that. Let's go ahead and finish up the face, and I'm going to come back with some more thoughts. Oh my God. All right, so I got everything on. Don't mind my lash glue. She is still drying, but let's kind of go through the products so far and see what I'm thinking. First of all, I did use this under my eye, the soft powder, the setting powder under my eye to kind of catch fallout and whatnot. When I created this oddly this weird looking eye look, like I had a vision in my head and it just didn't turn out. So it's just not the best. Just don't mind the face, because it's like the eyes did not turn out right. I am well aware. But this actually did work pretty well as like a catching, baking type of powder. I didn't notice it did like much for my under eye, but it didn't do, you know, nothing either. Like it didn't hurt, it didn't help, it didn't hinder. It was just a good in-betweeny weenie, if you will. Now so far the foundation is looking real creasy. Like in here, I'm a little creasy. My pores are super emphasized on both sides. So I don't know. The forehead looks okay. Everything at this moment just looks really kind of crepey. So I'm hoping that after a couple of hours, maybe it'll like meld into the skin a little bit and become a better foundation. I've said this pretty openly on my channel before, but for me, my sweet spot with foundation is usually like 2 to 3 hours after I put it on. You guys, one of my lashes is going rogue, and like it will not stick to the other lashes. It's like all these ones are up here, and then like this lash is just like it's just sticking straight out. So don't mind me. I'm just, you know, dying slow, painful, stick in eye death. But I'm kind of hoping that once the foundation gets into that sweet spot, that it's just better. Because right now it's not anything special for me anyways, but this powder right here actually was not bad. I did use this to help like reshape my under eye, and I, you know, just kind of dotted it around. I didn't use a ton of it, obviously, because I needed as much bronzer as I could possibly have today, but I was really impressed with, for a sheer pigment, like a sheer powder pigment, whatever you want to call it, it actually did have a beautiful, like soft, almost blurring effect with it when I used it. So that was interesting. I didn't use a lot, and I turned on the camera to film it. I started talking, and then my card shut off, or my camera shut off, and I was like, you know what? We're good. It's fine. I'm not meant to film this part. So this is interesting. It's not the worst. I'm very busy. I do think it's interesting though, the coloring that they chose for this. This is the lightest one in the shade Fair, and it's light, don't get me wrong, it works, but it would not, I don't think that this powder would be brightening enough for all skin tones. I think that for me and pastier, I don't know that this would be bright enough for you, but I think that they did all right as far as a launch, having, I think they have 4 shades of this powder. So, I mean, if it's something that you're curious about, you could probably make it work. I would love to see a powder like this though, that is like 1 step lighter, or even a white powder would be nice, or not, well, maybe not white, because that would have a lot of flashback, but you know what I mean, something even a little bit lighter like this. They did a white concealer, maybe do like a super light one of these, but with a touch of color. I don't know, something to consider. But overall, I think everything looks pretty good. I'm definitely excited. Everything went on very nicely. I was able to add a little bit of contour to the nose, and nothing stripped off, which is a good sign. So we are going to scoot along. I will obviously wear this for the entire day. And another thing I wanted to mention too, if you are new or you've never heard me talk about it, the Touch Silk Canvas, which is the primer I used on this side, a lot of times when I use that, it doesn't do much right now, but in like 5 to 6 hours, it'll look very smooth. Like it just helps elongate the wear of my foundations and how they look and like how they sit in my pores. So we'll be able to kind of see if that makes a difference. Maybe the ColourPop foundation will respond more to that than something else. So I don't know. I'm curious. You guys can tell me what you think right now and what you think versus the next clip. So I will be right back. All right, you guys, it has been a very long day. This foundation has been on my face for a while. At this point, about 9.5-ish hours, and I definitely have some thoughts. Now, the first thing I'm going to say, yes, I did change my lip color, by the way, but that's not important. The first thing I want to actually say is that I did do check-in-esque things today on my vlog, so if you are curious about those or kind of how it literally looked throughout the day or anything like that, it will be a little bit in this coming vlog this week, so just FYI. This is going up on Wednesday, so it will be the following Monday. So I did, you know, kind of do a couple check-ins and I talk a little bit about it, so I'm going to recap all of that here, but neither here nor there, just a little shameless plug for the Monday vlog. Now, let's talk about this foundation. First thing I can tell you is that right now it does not look good. When we zoom in, you're gonna be like, whoa. The main issue that I have, actually I have two main issues. Number one, this is not a foundation, in my opinion, that if you are super, super oily like me, that you will love. I am literally caked and coated in oily, in oily, burp. I will, when I bring you in, you're gonna see I'm not gonna blot it off, which normally I blot the oil so you guys don't have to see it, but I really, really want you to see this to really drive my point home, because you guys, I have already blotted 3 times today and my nose still looks like this. Now it has been a long day, but that's a really, like that, this is probably like the most unoil friendly foundation I've had in a hot minute. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna, you know, give a little bit more detail, because the fact that it's really oily on my nose and in my T-zone, it sucks, but I'm impressed on one other area. This is starting to break up around my mouth, upper lip, like this whole area. It's breaking up. That's whatever. I mean, it's not good, but it happens. My issue, or what kind of shocks me though, is for how much I'm oily and for how much it's breaking up, my face actually still looks decent, like on the planes of my face. Normally when a foundation makes me, or I become this oily when wearing a foundation, normally it starts to even break up like on the planes of my face, because there's so much oil that my face or the powder or whatever, it just can't absorb it all. And I'm just really impressed at how, yes, it's breaking up, yes, I'm super oily, but it really does have a nice strong molecular like hold together structure for this foundation. So what else was there that I really wanted to mention? Oh, my under eye area is like super, I don't know what happened. I had a ton of transfer for mascara, and I was wondering if, oh, by the way, I forgot to turn the AC off. I'm sorry about that, you guys. You just had like a solid 3 minutes of AC noise. Sorry, it's really hot. Like I'm sweating. It's like still 80 degrees out right now. I'm dying a little bit, but where was I going with that? Oh, the powder. I'm wondering if that translucent powder that I used under the eye, if it's not as like oomph as the normal powders I use, because that would explain a lot of my issues. It would explain the transfer, because there's a substantial transfer under my eye from my mascara. I'm super oily even on the sides of my face, and again, normally I have the Coty Airspun like on the larger planes and even on this area, so maybe I will retry this and I'll let you guys know how that goes. Maybe I'll like update you on it or whatever, but I think that the powder is okay as almost like a finishing type powder. I'm just not sure that it's enough aggressive powder for my face. I think that because I'm so oily, it didn't hold up to the grease. So, you know, with that being said, as far as the 2 sides for primer, I actually did see a little bit of a difference. Right now, it's still looking pretty rough, but I think that both sides looked pretty good. But I think that for smoothness, I actually think the Peter Thomas Roth side might be a little bit smoother right in this area, but the Tatcha also looked really good throughout the day. So I didn't notice a huge difference there. Boy, my face looks so rough right here. Let's go ahead and do the zoom in so that way we're all talking about the same thing. Wow, even foundation is like lifting. Oh, goody. So here's the disgusting up close shot of my nose. Like, do you see all that oil? That is so disgusting. And again, that's with me blotting already 3 times today. This is like a solid oil cake. Oh my God, like it just, oh, it's not gonna show up, but that's disgusting. And all through here, you can really see the breakage. Like, look at that. Down here on the sides, and now it's even breaking up and lifting up in this area, which is crazy to me. And then there's all that transfer. Holy crap. And there's so much of it. And it's not like I don't normally get transfer. That's just excessive as all hell. But through here, it does still look really beautiful. I don't know. I'm definitely going to continue to work with it. If I had to say, like, Paige, how would you make this foundation work for you? Because this is something that I've kind of integrated into on my channel. Anytime I do a foundation review, and you guys can tell me down in the comments if you like it or not, but I do add in at the end, a lot of times, you know, we buy foundations or we buy products, and if we don't love them, I like to incorporate a little part at the end where I talk about how do I make it work so I don't waste all that money. Because, you know, no matter if it's a $12 foundation or a $70 foundation, you can't always return them, or for whatever reason, you just have them. So if I had to say, how would I make this one work for me? The first thing I would say is I would add in a foundation that I know is much more oil controlling, which I'm just going to kind of take a peek into the foundations I have sitting next to me. The ones that I know wear very well are like these ones, which are more full coverage, which can be good and bad depending on how you felt about the coverage of this particular foundation. The Estee Lauder Maximum Cover works really well for me for oily skin. So does the Catrice if you're looking for another more drugstore option. The shade range is awful, but because these go so light and so dark, you might be able to make this work for you. What's another one that I found is really well wearing? The Dior Maximum Cover. This wears very well on my oily skin. Those are my big hitters, I would say. What else? Is there any other ones? You know what? I would say that the Atelier works really well. I got this one off of Beautylish. I can link the video right up here. I've probably got a video on most of these, but this one is probably the newest one I picked up out of all 4. And it is the Makeup Atelier Paris Waterproof Foundation, but this just has a really nice wear life to it, and it also rejuvenates really nicely at the end of the day. If you need just a couple more hours out of it, it wakes up really nicely. So if it were me, I would say some combination like this, something that has good coverage to it, but really nice mattification. And I would also go in with my most mattifying powders, like the most mattifying powders, and whatever I have that will, ooh, oh my God, how did I just now think of this? The Cover FX blotting drops. Duh, I did a whole video on these. I will link it right up here. These things actually do work. So I will try actually and mix it in with these, and I'll let you guys know how that works as well. So I don't know, you guys. I think at the end of the day, for $12.90 or 12 bucks, it was $12, yeah. I think that it's worth giving it a shot, especially if, you know, you're curious about it in the shade range. I don't think for $12 you're going to be upset, even if you end up using it as a mix-in foundation. It does have really nice qualities. The finish is beautiful. It has like a really nice kind of glowy natural finish. I don't think it's matte finish at all. We've talked about this, but I think it has a really nice finish to it. I actually think the coverage is very nice. The coverage is very buildable, and I love the shade range. There's something there for everyone, even if all you need is a mix-in foundations. Sometimes, you know, we look for, hell, I've actually got a mix-in foundation right here. It's just like a no-name knockoff. This is the Obsession mixer, but some people they need a mix-in foundation that they can use so they don't lose coverage, because again, a lot of us have a lot to cover, and so sometimes something like this, it doesn't carry any coverage with it. It's just straight white pigment. But if you can find something that has coverage to it, that's a bonus. So maybe you could use this foundation as like a mix-in. So I don't know, there's lots of ways you can use it. I will definitely continue to wear it, but you guys let me know down below, did you love this? Are you excited? I'm gonna stop filming now and get it rendered because it's going up tomorrow. So you guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Have you tried it? Do you want to try it? You guys don't forget to go to the description box and check out my social media accounts. Lately I've been on Twitter a ton and Instagram. those are my two big hitters right now because I like hanging out with you guys there. It's very interactive and I love that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. So much color pop, so much color pop. Photographed alright, but gotta look so janky right now. Time to go take it off, take it off, take it off. Time to take it off. Ooh.